Welcome to tonight's meeting of the Armada Village Council. Please rise for the pledge allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. You want to take the roll, Michelle?
Shaw.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Conan.
Here.
Adair. Here. Belkey.
Here.
Garza. Here. Stirrup.
Here.
Okay, you've got the agenda. Can I have a motion on it?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Clark and Shaw. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Motion's approved. Citizen comments. If you have a comment, please stand. State your name and your address?
No.
No, just state your name, please.
Go for it.
Okay. Who would like to go, Ed?
So I'm next. Bob Richter, Franklin Lane. I have handouts. What's the protocol? Do I give them to the clerk and they get distributed, or do I?
Why don't you give them to the clerk here?
There's one for every board member, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so 8.
Yeah.
Last time I asked about visions, and I realized that I made a big mistake on a couple of fronts. But I thought that would be good to have a conversation with some actual handouts that show a little bit about what that's about. So I went in Friday and I asked how I communicate to the board members, because most of the time when you ask your boss to do something for you, more than likely you get an assignment out of that. So last meeting, I got an assignment out of asking for a vision to talk to all the board members about their vision. So I came and I asked how to do that. As it turns out, there isn't any way for a citizen to communicate with the board members. They have to go through the administrative assistant. She leaves a message, which she did, and a couple of board members responded. But I realized that I probably wasn't very clear as to how the vision, mission, goals, and objectives thing works. So I prepared a little handout that hopefully makes some sense. And there's a lot of examples of civic organizations and some examples of businesses, what a vision and mission is. And it's really an aspirational view of what the, in this case, community wants to be in the future. And then the mission is sort of structured on how that gets there. And then your goals and objectives come from your value statement about what's important to you in the community. And then you set up a set of goals and objectives that get you there. And so I was hoping that we could sort of, over time, work that through in departments, so that, because when you go to other websites and you look at other communities, their vision and their missions are listed there. And it's very inspirational. You could look at some of these, and it's really neat what they say, and we don't have anything like that. And I think we could motivate our community, motivate our citizens, motivate everybody to sort of get up and support the board and support our direction, and even support some extra money. If we had a vision about where we were going and people understood it, and they understood what the department's visions were and where they were going, we could inspire people because they would know what they're paying for. And I really hope that, everybody could look at this and perhaps, I don't know, it's up to the president to be the inspiration for the board and not me. But I'm sort of just coaching a little bit without trying to, be too obnoxious. That we kind of need to.
Number one, you're not obnoxious. Number two, I don't know how you could talk without your arms.
I can't. I can't. It's not physically possible.
But thank you.
But I'm hoping that at some point we could all, present a community vision, and that would be something the board would be able to do, and we would have that on our website, and people could be inspired by it, and each group could have, their own that they work towards, and that's just my comments. So.
Okay, but thank you. Are there any other comments? Go ahead, Kevin.
Kevin Grand, Armada resident. Roughly 2 months ago, prior to the meeting, driving through town, that's when we got that big snowstorm in February. I'm driving through and I'm observing residents walking through. They're going down the sidewalk and they're having some issues. They're tripping, they're sliding, they're falling. And basically it's because you have residents that are inconsiderate. They don't want to take care of the sidewalks in front of their property. Now that was 2 months ago. So you had 4 meetings since then. I haven't seen it on items for future agenda. Mr. Gahorsky was here on several of those meetings. No questions were asked to him about what will be involved in doing that. And it's not that I haven't heard comments from this board regarding residents maintaining their properties. I'm not going to name names, but during snowstorms, or if we knew snowstorms are coming, people had asked residents to shovel their driveways to help out their neighbors. We've also had people on this board, they're talking about liability issues with the village. I'm not going to name names, but that's something that I thought would also be something that would push people forward. So my question is this going to be discussed? And if not now, when?
Thank you, Kevin. One thing I will say, at least the people that, the homes that got identified, all received letters from the village. Okay, are there any other comments? Okay, moving on. We have no presentation. Administrative reports. Who would like to start?
I'll
Mike?
start mine short and brief.
Go ahead.
Okay, we had the meeting this past Monday, and we have a sign ordinance variation for the businesses at the park, so that was approved by the planning commission. Nothing more on the master plan. I'm assuming they're gonna come in May. That's what I understand from Becky. They're supposed to come back again and slowly go through the process of the master plan guidance with that. That's it.
Just want to apologize to Mike. I said I was going to get him information on what SEMCOG can do with respect to master plan. It's free, right? So,
Free is always good.
pardon?
Free is always good.
Free is good. And I've not done it. It just occurred to me today I need to do it. So I will get it to you so you can pass it on to planning.
Okay, thanks, Ross.
Apologies.
Mike Sterrett?
Yep, you guys all have the packet from F&V. I just wanted to touch on a couple points. There was a call out, power surge at the lift station on March 15th. F&V prepared the NPDES permit renewal that I spoke about at the last meeting. And then I thought it was interesting, up at the top, the average daily flow was 199,000 gallons per month. The maximum daily flow was 434,000 gallons on March 6th. And on March 4th, we had 0.6 inches of rain. So we got a lot of rain that day when your daily max hit double the average. Pretty interesting. Obviously, it takes a little bit of time for the flows to go up when the rain event occurs because of infiltration and such. But otherwise, everything's going good. I have one agenda item on it later on.
Okay,
That's it for me.
thank you, Mike. Amy, you wanna go?
I just wanted to say that the Cape Seal Street project went out for bids almost a couple weeks ago, and so on Monday, I'm gonna have a meeting with Paul from Rowe to receive any bids that we get, so I'm excited about that.
Okay.
And what about our bids for the road?
That's
That's it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
said pull the crack seal.
No.
Cape
I
Oh,
know,
I'm
there's-
sorry, I thought you said the correct
They
seal, I'm
changed the name
sorry.
of what that is.
Yeah,
So now,
so on Monday, we'll know.
okay,
Keep your fingers crossed.
okay. Ross,
All right, Michelle, we're ready to copy?
Yeah, I switched my paper.
you might wanna get the recorder out.
That's
All
what I
right,
have the tape for.
Just want to let council know that the hydrovacking that we were doing in the village was completed. Again, hydrovacking is to help us identify the material composition of water lines, So this should be it. This, I haven't had a chance to evaluate the data, but it should allow us to put together the definitive plan and the cost estimate for lead and galvanized water pipe replacement in the village. We'll start next year, so we did not intend to start this year, needed to get that information in. And it may go on for several years. But I am happy to report, I think we've kind of said it all along, that the number of lines that we found that are lead or galvanized is significantly lower than we expected. So that means that the cost is going to be less and the time to replace is going to be less. So hoping by the, what's the next meeting, the 12th of May, I can give you a updated report. One of the things I'm going to do on the boat. Updated report on, that's how you spend a vacation. That's quality vacation time. As to how many lines we have, of course, of most significance are the number of lead gooseneck connections we might have. I think that that's very small. We do have more galvanized lines. Concern about galvanized lines is if they've ever been connected to lead, and we don't know in a number of cases if they've ever been connected. But if they've ever been connected to lead, galvanized lines can tend to pick up, they rust internally and they pick up particles. And so any lead particles that have sloughed off could have been captured in the galvanized line to get loosened up 10 years later, 15 years later, whatever. So we do want to replace all those. Okay, more to follow on that. We did send out the consumer confidence report. It's gone out with the latest water sewer bill. I know better than to look at Facebook, but I do occasionally, and really, especially around the quarterly bills. It just irritates the heck out of me because clearly there's people out there that don't understand how the system works. I can appreciate it that they're not happy about the cost of water and sewer in the village. I don't know that we have a lot of options. Certainly not free. We put a lot of effort into the report. I would just ask people to read the report because in most cases you see what's in your water. It's very good water. I keep pounding on the table. It's very good water. It's very clean, very drinkable. You may not like the taste because it's out of the ground. It certainly might taste a little different than what you get out of bottled water. In any case, the report addresses a lot of the issues that I see on Facebook. So it's clear to me that I put a lot of work into this thing. F&V helps out with the chemical analysis and all that, and people don't read it. I just don't understand it. In any case, if anybody has any questions about that, they can call the village office and they'll put you in touch with me. I call everybody back personally because again, they don't have to like the cost, but I want them to understand how it works. To that end, I am considering putting on another public information session about water, just what the system is in the village, the different issues related to the system, how we determine rates, how you read your meter, all of that kind of good stuff. I'm going to see about doing it the 22nd of May at the library. Library's got to give me approval to do it. So once they tell me yay or nay, I'll be able to move forward on that.
You got to correct Facebook. They're already saying you're having it May 15th.
I guess.
Yeah, I didn't know anything
Okay,
about
well,
it. I got to read what's going on
Yeah, no,
Facebook.
no, that's good. I did tell somebody that I was trying to do it on May 15th, subject to the library giving me approval, but I'm going to get back from the trip. I'm not going to have any time to put it together.
Now you know who the leaker is.
What's that?
Whoever you told that one person, you told that one.
Oh, I don't mind. I don't mind them spreading it around. In fact, I'm hoping that if I put it out to somebody on Facebook, it'll get out there. I want people to show up because I've done these before and nobody shows. Right? Nobody shows up. So all I can infer is people like to complain about it, but nobody really cares to really understand how it works. And who knows? Maybe they got a better idea than what I'm coming up with. I have signed off on the remaining contracts that we had out there that were in the budget. The SCADA system check. I don't have a date yet for that. Hopefully we can maybe combine yours and mine. The water treatment plant heater replacement. The one thing that we haven't resolved yet is the Water tower insulation contract. Interestingly, we have insulation around the base of the tower. They say definitely don't do that. Well, this is 25 years old, so somebody, you know, the company that put it up apparently thought that that was a good thing to do. They said, no, that's not a good thing to do. So I'm having some discussions with them about pulling off that insulation and just putting it on the riser, which goes to the bowl on
Did they
top.
say why not?
It masks, if you have leaks, it masks the leak, and the leak is against the metal on the wall and it deteriorates. And so one of the things they are doing this year is they are painting the bowl. It's rust preventative and it'll help the thing last 100 years hopefully. And if you've got a wet side and you don't know about it, you could have a significant issue, you know, at 30 years, 35 years. And
You didn't sign off on that, you're working on that.
I'm working on it. That has not been signed off yet. I need to understand what they're telling me. Apparently, we got disconnected when we were talking about it, because I thought they were talking about the side, and they were talking about the center standpipe. We do have a grant request in, I think I mentioned this before, pending with Fort County for the trail easement. Have not received word back, but I would expect any time. Now they'll either say yay or nay or partial. They'll get a partial amount. We are making progress on the village welcome signage. Once that's done with the person that's working on that, we'll bring it into council so you guys can see it and comment on it. We mentioned the village historical marker packet that did get received and accepted by the state, so that's in process now. And then just last, just as I guess a teaser, one of Mike and my projects this year is replace the water line to the wastewater treatment plant. Some of you guys have all of the detail, but there's an easement issue that we got to get worked out with the county. We don't really anticipate problems, but we may need to expand the easement to cover any lines that we have in there now or potentially in the future. And we have lines going down the service drive, but we also have lines in the South 40 running along the creek, and there's a potential to put another water line in there and so on. So we're kind of holding off for the meeting on the 12th, Monday the 12th, and that's where Jeff will be here, and
Yep.
we'll
I
have a
think so.
conversation on that. Okay, lot going on, so I'm happy for a break.
Okay.
Thank you. And Ross does really do a wonderful job of trying to communicate to people anything he can about the water.
I read the report, Ross. Page, every word was very good, very informative.
All right.
And just so you know, Deckerville's water is not even a scooch under what yours is, so it's not like it's that much expensive. They're a small community too, they have the same setup, and it's roughly the same price.
Density.
Yeah.
Density.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Moving on, oh, Joe, do you have anything? So we got all our administrative reports. Then moving on to the consent agenda, which includes the council minutes, the payment of the bills, and the special event permit. Can I get a motion, please?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support that.
Clark and Duffy. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Okay, no old business to discuss, so moving on to new business. The first thing is the public hearing to consider the ordinance amending Title I, Chapter 8, Section 8.1 of the Village Code of Ordinances to change the compensation for the village president and trustees. So can I have a motion to go into the public hearing?
Make a motion to go into public hearing at 7:19.
Support.
No, we
That's
need
roll.
you need a roll call,
Yep.
right?
Pelkey?
Yes.
Adair? Yes. Stirrup?
Yes.
Conan?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Barisick?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Okay. Motion's approved.
Yep.
So we're now in the,
This is where the public speaks.
yep. Prior though, I do have something to say, and then everybody will be able to speak, I would like to. Just so you understand how this works. First of all, the compensation for the treasurer and the clerk come under the general budget. And that gets in there when we approve the budget. Now, for the council, the 6 trustees and myself, president, that has to be done here
By ordinance.
by ordinance. Now, the way the compensation for the council works is we get paid by the regular council meetings. So we have 2 a month. If a council person could work 20 hours, but if they don't show up at the council meeting, then they don't get any reimbursement. So so it's just based upon the 2 meetings. Each one of these council people have an assignment. Like Mike, there's a sewer supervisor, or the trustee for the sewer department. He's the go-between between the sewer department and the village council. And he works with the people who run the department and keeps in touch with them. Mike,
He's a liaison.
he's the liaison. Mike is the liaison between the planning commission and the council, and also is the parks commissioner. Joe is the police commissioner. She works with the police chief, sometimes with individual officers. Amy is our road commissioner. She works on the road project. She works with the engineering firm that does our roads. Okay. Steve is the pro tem, kind of like a vice president, and he kind of works with everybody, specializes in when we have problems. Ross, which you've heard quite a bit, works with the water department. He works with Eagle on maintaining the water standards. Just about all these people have to work with the DPW, or in case of Joe's case, with the police department. We have, we all get involved with personnel issues. There's a lot of things that come up here that you never get to see. Myself, last year I made $7,800 as a village president. My counterpart in the township gets $30,000. Hardly any departments, no water, sewer, police, but that's the way it's set up. This big increase is $10 a meeting, so it's $20 a month. Provided they show up. Like, I might miss a couple meetings a year being on a cruise. Some of the other type people, then there is no compensation.
There's no sick days, you don't get a sick day?
No, it's not,
No insurance.
Doesn't work that way.
you know, there's no other,
Man,
brutal. So I just want people to understand, but anybody thinks these jobs are extremely lucrative, please run, you know. But again, each one of these people do everything they can for this village. They're very devoted. So, that being said, to give you an idea, now if there's any questions or concerns or statements you'd like to make, please.
Again, state your name.
Yeah.
if you already stated your name once, do you have to do it again?
No, you're fine.
Okay. So I don't think you guys make near enough. I think this raise is way too low. I'm amazed at how much work you do for the pittance that you get. It's a shame. We really need to do a better job.
Thank you.
That's my input.
I'm the one that suggested raise. And I just try to give people a little reward that hopefully recognize their efforts. That, you know, but
I think you undershot, so.
is there anybody else that would like to? Go ahead, sir, please.
Tom Mackey, who's paying for this increase?
The people of Armada taxpayers.
General.
So our taxes are gonna go up?
No,
No.
So how do you guys get more money?
yeah,
It's out of the general fund.
it comes out of the general fund.
So it's not gonna mess with our taxes or anything along those lines?
No, but it does come out of the general fund.
Okay.
So there's less that goes into the general fund. So instead of increasing the general fund by X, it's X minus a few. But, yeah, that's,
Well, again,
The general
We-
fund has enough money.
we like to think
cover
that, you know,
Way more than enough.
again, everybody here tries to keep our expenses down as much as
Yeah.
possible. We argue sometimes about spending money. Sometimes the commissioner wants to, and that person can say, hey, we should be doing this, and you know.
yeah. In the 3 meetings I've been here, Amy and Ross alone have saved you guys 10 times what you're asking for, so.
It was also during
I
the
mean,
budget, when
really.
they were discussing budget, this is approved already in
Yeah.
the budget
Yeah.
for this year.
But
So the
anyhow,
costs are already included.
actually, our general fund, because of some things that we've done, our general fund has been able to raise a little bit. That's why we're anticipating loaning the street fund some money to help pay for this. We're anticipating because we don't have the bids back. But anyhow, is there any other questions, concerns, statements, whatever? Go ahead.
Kevin Grant, Armada resident. I
Yeah.
can stand if you like.
Yeah, we always like to see you good, Kevin.
Okay. So going from the packet, the current compensation has increased the last few years. The last time was 2024. Over the course of the past 20 years, the complexity of the issues and time committed associated with serving as a village president and trustee has increased substantially. Now, this is a little bit confusing because you talk about the pay has been going up. It's been going up the last time in 2024. You've discussed who here does what, but since 2024, can somebody explain what was done to justify an increase in the salaries?
Okay, first of all, in 2024 was a fantastic increase. It was $15 a meeting. I had proposed 25, and when they put it into the budget, they made a mistake and put it at 15. So that's why I came back with the 10 this year. The workload is not any higher this year than it was last year. You know, everybody's got their own personal opinion, but, well, the workload's been,
It has.
there's always been a lot.
Yeah.
I myself, since I was on this board for 30 years, different once you become president. So many personnel issues, things you wouldn't normally, that I never really had to handle before. But there's just a lot of things. Now, if you're looking to say, hey, Joe did $10 more a month than she did last year, or Mike, no, I can't tell you that, Kevin.
And it's actually the cost of doing business for the village of Armada. It's budgeted for every year. It's not like we're taking it away from something to put into the board's compensation. It's something that you have to budget for because someone has to run the village.
Well, I'm not saying that someone doesn't have to run the village, but what I'm saying is, in the private sector, if you're going for a raise, you usually have to justify the raise to your employer. I've done X, I've done Y, I've done Z, I've brought more value, I've done fill in the blank. And that was the question that I had asked.
Yeah.
If you can cite specific examples between 2024 in 2025.
We have more money in our general fund.
And
That would
is
be
due-
probably the best example.
And that would be due to the economy? Would that be due to
No,
members?
those two are spending money, but we're lucky that we have it to spend.
But
It's
they
been-
spend, they spend
budgets-
less than we thought.
You know, our salvage title program has done a lot for us.
I've been on this council, or worked with this council, different people for 20 years, Joe for 30, whatever. These councils here have always been very conscious of the money that they're spending. They have, they don't frivolously spend. They bank the money. Joe is treasurer forever, and she, it's like we've got a new treasurer who's fantastic as well. They're very good at being frugal with how they spend their money, but spending it on the needs of the village. And that's true for any person that's been on this council in the last 20 years, for sure for me. I'm sure you'd say the same. So it has been able to build up a good fund balance. Because in 2008, as we were always told, we're not even collecting the taxes we collected in 2008 because we haven't recovered yet. We should be collecting a lot more taxes, but we're not. So with, we've survived through 2008. The people on this council, these commissioners, they do work a lot outside of these meetings, and there's, it's not a salary position for them. It's, so $225 a meeting may sound high if you have an 11-minute meeting, all right? But you gotta take into consideration what they do outside of those meetings as well, because the way it is set up is by meeting. It's not set up by commission. It's not set up by, because, you could argue Ross's commission is water, and Amy right now, because we're doing street projects, is a lot more tedious than maybe Parks is, But, it's not, we don't pay like that. That's not how it's set up to pay. And I love you, Mike, you do a great job. I do, and I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that it's important to understand that what they make, may seem like, oh, you're only there an hour and you made that money. They put in hours and hours and hours outside of these meetings.
I wasn't implying there's any funny business, because I wouldn't be talking to you, I'd be talking to people who see it right now.
Yeah.
But the point I'm making is, looking at the packet, I noticed a conspicuous lack of justification for the raise. And that's what I was asking the question for.
I wasn't given that, so that's why it's not in the packet. I prepared the packet. So.
Did you have more questions?
No, that was,
Sure, go ahead.
So, compensation at my work is set by the HR department doing a survey of all of the other companies that roughly do the same thing we do. At your position, they look at what all the other companies are paying those, and they set a standard base wage based on that. So if you're below market, they raise your pay. If you're above market, then you consider yourself
That
lucky.
sounds really good, but we have a little
You guys
bit
are
of a
way
different
below, way
situation.
below market.
Yeah.
We have no village manager. Some
Yeah.
communities have that.
Yeah.
The school has a
Romeo.
superintendent that the board works with.
Right.
But in this case, these people have to take it on their own.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to compare us with whatever.
Because other communities really don't have commissioners set up, to be the liaisons between the,
Yeah.
in a great world, the liaisons would just be reporting to council.
Right.
But
We
they're
would
not,
have
they're doing the work.
we'd have a village manager sitting here and we would just question him.
Right.
But it's a little different
And
here.
the leads to each department, to the
So-
the people that run
Yeah.
the organization would come and report to council.
Again, we welcome more people to run.
Yeah.
If you think
No, I think you
it's so
guys-
highly paid. But
Yeah.
to me, all these guys really deserve more than they're getting.
I agree.
But anyhow, are there any other questions? So we if we don't
Can I
have
make
any.
a point though?
Oh,
I
sure.
did the quick calculation and it comes to about $1,680 a year, correct? $20 a month times 7, counting owned, is $1,680. Or you can look at it per council member, it's $240. So if you miss one meeting, which I missed one this year for my dog dying, sorry everybody, you're still gonna save money from the budget on me.
Yeah.
Already, and we're all gonna miss more than likely one meeting. So budgeting wise, we're still within the same budget we had last year, which is the same budget as the year before. It's just we don't spend it all. You even said yourself you don't come in at total amount that we budgeted
No,
for
I-
one resident.
You know, but, you know, the last meeting in March, I was in the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, you were goofing
I was
off.
I was still in contact with the office
Yeah.
from
like
the
us.
Atlantic, but there was no pay for that
Steve had
meeting.
to run the meeting.
But,
And we don't
Regardless-
forget mileage or anything like that, or things that get.
you know, regardless, you know, do we have a motion to go out of public
Mark,
hearing?
is everybody done?
Is everybody done? Any council people?
Feel free to chime in.
I'm just gonna say, and I appreciate the conversation and what you guys are saying. You know, I spent 20 years in the Army, 20 years working for the Army. It's hard to get service out of your blood, right? So this is service to me, and I'm not knocking anybody else. I wouldn't take it unless I can put it back into water, because that's what I want to see succeed, is the water department. So if you guys tell me that that's permissible, is that permissible?
That's an Ann question.
Yeah,
She's
where's
not here.
Ann? She's AWOL.
She's out. She's not here this week.
She's in class.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
she's
right.
at her class this week.
I assume I can write a check back to the village and donate.
That would be a conversation we'd have to have in the office, I don't know.
I mean, me personally, it'd be great. I appreciate the confidence in what I do. I don't personally need it. And if I can give it back to water, then I can go ahead and vote in the affirmative.
I don't know, I
When
think
you
could
wrote
put it
up
all in
about
the
your
tablet.
job, you told me you were underpaid. And you wrote to me that you were underpaid.
I desire adulation. No, I'm just kidding. No,
And I
really-
think you are underpaid too, you do a lot.
No, I get it. I know how to do a lot of this stuff. It's very time consuming, but it's not a mental drain on me. So, and I'm happy to support my community by doing it. That's why I do it. I'm really not doing it for the money. Although it's a nice perk to get it. It's just like at the restaurant. I work at the restaurant, I get nothing. Maybe Sam gives me free food.
There you go.
Otherwise, all goes back to her.
All the dishes you can want.
So I'm gonna, I go ahead and vote in the affirmative. Michelle, I'm gonna give it back to you guys. Cause
I don't feel like any of these people are doing this for the money, because if they want to spend this much time, there's better ways you can do it.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that's between you, if you
And
wanna
Ann.
make a donation.
I think we can do that. yeah.
I'm not receivables.
I'm not sure you can stipulate how it's used.
No,
but,
no. I
But
would like
maybe
to-
you can,
Would like to see it go to water.
you know,
Okay.
could
Okay.
go to the president's vacation club. Anyhow, then, could I have a motion to close the public hearing, please?
I'll move to close the public hearing at 7:39.
Support.
Okay, we need a roll call.
Not on this.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Okay, now,
Now, your motion is on the front of that page.
yeah, I gotta get to that, I did move the consent agenda out of here. Okay, I need a motion, if we're gonna make a
Somebody else
motion
has
on
their
this.
page up.
Yeah, you-
He's not gonna read the motion.
No, I won't be
He needs a
reading it.
motion.
You gotta have a motion from the council.
I'll move to adopt the ordinance establishing the compensation to be received by the president and trustees at $375 per meeting and $275 per meeting respectively.
Support.
Is that you, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
Clark and Shaw,
Ready?
take the roll, please.
Clark,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Sturritt,
Yes.
Garzick,
Yes.
Cronin,
Yes.
Adair,
No,
Belkey.
Yes, on the stipulation, the money goes back to the.
I can't have, it's either
Oh,
yes or no.
no.
No, I know how it works. Yes, but I will give the money back to the village.
Okay, motion's approved. Moving on. Mike, is it, this is
Yeah, this is
you?
mine, yep. So, we had that water event that I mentioned in my council, whatever it is, commissioner report. And that generator is over 10 years old, I believe now, because I bought it, or we had DPW buy it in my first term, my second term. So it's been at least 9 years. And they went to start it up, I assume it's still on the monthly list of things to start, and it didn't start. And the rain event's coming, Dave knows about it, you know, it's coming, it's a weather event. And so he had to take it into the shop. Problem was, is we didn't have a backup generator. We could have gone and rented one, obviously, if the power did go out, but we didn't have the power go out. So what I'm trying to propose here is to buy a backup generator, same exact one we have now, and then they'll have two. So 10 years seems to me like a good useful life. I think if you depreciated it, and would have to tell us, but I don't think it'd be more than 10 years on a generator of that size. It's not a whole building generator. They had them at the big box stores. I think it takes a week to get, because I was just at Menards and they only had the size down, so it'll take a little bit to get it. But I don't see, this the same price everywhere you look. You can Google it and get the same price. The only thing is Menards has the rebate right now. I was just there, but we haven't been set up yet for the tax exempt. So I'm gonna leave that as Dave and Becky's discretion and Ann as to where to go, but I'll set it at, my proposal has it at $3,999 to buy the same exact generator that we have, and then make one of them backup. Dave can handle that. I'm not here to dictate how he does it, but then we'll always have a backup one. And then in 10 years, we can buy another one to replace the old backup. So I think that was a good useful life. Gotta have it. If we don't have it and those pipes back up because the lift station's not running, we have a lot, several angry
It gets
residents.
used probably 4 or 5 times a year,
Yeah,
and if it's not running, you're gonna have some basements back up, which you
Yeah.
don't want.
right.
Is this the one that's trailer mounted?
$29.99.
Yes.
Trailer? Really?
Would you like to make a motion then, Mike?
Before that, it was the old Army one, if you remember.
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, which we,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
You know, that
Yeah,
was.
they
the
went,
worst.
got that at what, Flint at the, Terry Rudy
Terry Rudy,
had?
yeah.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We were happy to get that one
I'm
going.
gonna make a motion to approve the DPW supervisor to purchase a generator. It's called the GP 15500E in an amount not to exceed $3,999.
Support.
Okay, we need a roll call on this?
Yep. Sturritt,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Garzick,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes,
Cronin,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Shaw.
Yes.
Thank you. Dave said the pig switch, if anybody's familiar with generators, should be universal to use on this one. Last time we had to buy the pig. I called it pig, but you know the connector.
Yeah.
Because it is an unusual lift station hookup. That should be usable or salvageable.
Mike, you got the next item, the pump
Sure.
house?
Last but not least, we needed a new roof on our pump house, which is it's in the park, and it's a historical building, and it needs to be re-shingled. I believe there's 2 layers of shingles on there now. I tried to get 5 quotes, I got 1. That's all you see in front of you. So I think that most companies felt it wasn't worth their time.
it is small.
It is a small job.
But they're gonna strip it off and,
Yes, yes, yeah, and I believe it's in the quote.
I think you were the partner when we did that before.
Yeah, and I've been up on that roof, it is dangerous, and it is 2 layers of shingle with a bunch of nails sticking up, so it'd be good to get that replaced. And when you do it, I got your cap, I just need to take a final measurement of the old cap that we had, and then to get a new shiny brass cap.
Yeah, I'll have to get with the roof contractor
Yeah.
on it, because I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll have him check it, and then I can make it, doesn't take me long to make it, and he can nail it down, and we're done.
Okay, I'll have that discussion with him to make sure he's aware of that.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll do that.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions on that? No? Okay, then I'll make a motion that it be resolved to approve the quote from Advanced Roofing to replace the roof on the pump house in Memorial Park at a cost not to exceed $4,665 as allowed for in the 2025-2026 approved village budget, and allow the park commissioner to sign on behalf of the village.
Support.
Wow.
We got a lot of support
Who's
there.
in that?
Sean and Adair.
Good to get that done.
All right, ready?
Go ahead.
Shaw,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Cronin,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Garza. Yes. Pelkey.
Yes.
Okay. That completes the new business. Do we have any upcoming agenda items?
Wastewater treatment plant, service drive, easement.
You're ambitious with
You
It may
think you're
take a
gonna
while.
have an answer by then?
that. He's being optimistic.
Hopefully.
I don't know, I think Jeff wants to give us some insights into a couple things, and it'll probably take a month and a half to get the paperwork together that the county's looking for. But we need to decide if we want to add some things or not to it.
Okay. Any other agenda items? Okay, then moving on. Citizen comments. Okay, no citizen comments, other council comments. Okay. Community events. Do we have anything coming up in the next couple of weeks?
Well, the events,
Yeah, the end.
Memorial Day Parade, they're gonna do a four-corner fundraiser that same weekend. That's what you guys approved
Yeah.
in your special temperament.
St.
Baldrick's.
Oh, St.
On May
Baldrick's,
3rd,
thanks,
yeah.
yep.
Good one?
That's May 3rd, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big one. Are there any other? Okay. We have no closed session, so I would entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:47.
Support.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.